Romeo's down, and they're going to send in with SayCloud. No fear will be taken out. But they need another game after this one with a chicken dinner. Sky, though, from Horror, putting in the work, and Weibo still holding on that south side, Jackie. Good shot from Sky, dear me.
Really crisp stuff. Yangon have finally met their match in Horror with how they've been able to play. Wide open angles and quick shots from Sky. Mernat, though, frustrated, wants to grab even more points for them, push further up the standings, and leave these squads knowing that if you come to the best, you better be able to strike them down.
Weibo needs to get moving, though. Like, this is a fight that they could capitalize off the back of. Yangon needs to push up the hill, and Weibo's had no influence here. Order finally looks over. SayCloud is down, and do the boys want to move over towards his way? He's gathering as much information as possible. Now with the big weapons in the back pocket, looks to put the hurt in. Ragnar with an off angle towards the back. Order jump spotting. SayCloud's still down. Might have just not seen him there.
They've both got so much utility to work with here as well. In a position to provide themselves some better sight lines, get those smokes down. Nades for the engage as well. A good range of different placements in terms of where these players are. If the fight kicks off, they can get angles onto you, even if you only slightly peek back into it. Mernat inside of the vehicle, hit heavy by Order. There goes the first man.
It's good timing as well. The circle starts to push in. Brilliant timing, in fact. They can delay as much as possible, will make life very hard for Yangon.
And Power. Of course, it was Ragnar that was left as the solo so long ago. The last man representing the organization, trapped in position with he just guarding his only exit.
Yeah, just needs to worry about the blue, essentially, and that'll do the trick. Now Weibo can set their sights completely over towards Yangon Galacticos. They have a man advantage, but positioning is not great for them.
Surprised SayCloud was able to keep himself alive. He dived in behind the tree in the loot crate. There's a nade that's going to be cast towards his position, but he's topped himself back up. The heal comes through in the nick of time. Meanwhile, the shots uphill are good for damage, but the knock is confirmed onto SayCloud.
Really important knock there coming through from he on a side swipe. Mernat tries to make his way across. But very important game, not only for Yangon Galacticos, but also Weibo. 91 points. And if they win this game, they'll shoot themselves up towards the century mark, over into the 100, set themselves up for later on in the day.
So much riding on this for that team. We've been singing the praises of Order, but him and he are a lethal unit. And at the minute, with that knock that came over onto Romeo as well, they've got a great advantage into this one. That's the full confirmation. Burn them down to just 2 players. Still, so much utility left to work with. That's been a difference maker for this team.
Smart plays here from 33Cs. He takes down Mernat, slowly pushing up, and another goes down. And Weibo will find themselves the second chicken dinner of the day. But the big storyline is Yangon Galacticos. They have crossed the line.
That match point smash rule coming into effect. That's what they were hoping for on this outing. And Weibo, it is huge for them. Like you said, the difference of being able to vacuum up these points, put themselves into a position where if they keep playing stalwart throughout this day, they could have a chance at the title. It's all to play for, but the intensity that will be building going into Game 3, Blank, the action is going to be palpable in that arena.
The bowstring is pulled taut right now for Weibo, and they're hoping to keep that tension in place to accentuate that gameplay. You look towards this team, they're pretty strong, but I think Yangon probably quite happy that they get the chicken dinner. It feels bad. It's hard trying to get the second. Let's wait for the third match today over on Arundel. In the meantime, we'll be heading back over to the desk.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 ESPORTS World Cup.
One of the only teams that could potentially challenge the top two coming into day number 3 here of our grand finals. Weibo is able to get themselves even more points to try and make that catch-up a reality here for the grand final. Joining me to talk about this one, Seven as well. So not Seven, he's backstage. Go away, Seven. We got him on the brain. Max, he's behind the couch. Maxman as well as Neptura to talk about this one. Neptura, good to see this team be able to step up here on Erangel to try and make that catch-up happen.
This game was so classic WBG. I feel like they go center, they go mid, and then as the zone pushes them to the edge, they end up starting to sweep teams. They kind of wait for other teams actually to sweep each other before coming in the final few moments, and that's exactly what we saw them do here, right? Landing, or not landing, but going to shelter, rotating to shelter, being able to get elim after elim, and now 10 points. That's going to be a 20-point game, and when we look at that leaderboard, Max, we are looking at being basically halfway to that smash point.
I mean, yeah, but okay, Yangon Galacticos, they breached the threshold. We saw it this match. That's the issue now. They are the only team that could smash next game. That's going to be, of course, bringing up the question. Big target on their back. Are any teams going to want to do anything about it? But 17 points here. Again, so successful when it comes to wide rotations, making it up north, waiting for the circle. It goes back to the east. All of the teams are going to be highly concentrated south and west, meaning northeast next to prison is open. They take control. They get the elims. They get their ticket in the smash zone.
So we've got to focus on that a little bit more, because now there is a world where if they win the next game or any subsequent game, we know the team in that smash zone here, Neptura, Galacticos, Yangon Galacticos will be our champions here. And after putting up 17 points, as soon as they realize, I think, that they're over the hurdle, they know that that game is just, well, let's just get a limb here or there. Let's just try and set ourselves apart from APG even a little bit more. So big stuff here for the tournament.
So far it's working, right? APG just not able to get the points that they need to make sure that they're closer to Yangon than they are. So for Yangon, they're like, hey, we're actually sitting really, really pretty. I do want to say they got a second place, not a win. They didn't get the win curse before the smash point coming in. So they didn't win this one. Maybe they'll win the next one.
The other team, though, up at the top, obviously APG. I initially want to make the point, Max, and then you can continue on, because I am of the belief if you're a military-based team, you have to have a drop-up spot. And to watch them try and run over the bridge and dodge bullets and all this stuff, it's not enough when you're on the hunt to try and make something happen. What do you make of it?
It's like talking to a wall, Kalaris. We've been doing it during PMWC LCSA. You drop in military base, you should have a secondary drop, but they've never done it now over the course of a year and a half since I've known this team, and especially since the brand new iteration of this team for Alpha Gaming. They're just so committed, and they almost lost players against Fourth Rise with a VSS from IQ across the bridge. It was rough, but here, as we can see on this graphic, they only jump up 1 point per game. 119, they started off with 117. Alpha Gaming, you still need 8 points. It is achievable, but the way they're playing, they might take 2, maybe 3 matches before they even get there.
I think with Weibo getting this win, it couldn't have happened in a more perfect way here, Neptura, because now we came into today thinking 2-horse race, absolutely. However, if Weibo suddenly just pops off once again, we're right there. 3-horse race here for day number 3.
I mean, it is crazy that Alpha Gaming could look directly behind them and then watch as Weibo Gaming actually surpass them in that race, because they're performing far better than Alpha Gaming are. And I slightly hate that there's a world where Alpha Gaming could get this close again and only get the MVP.
That's the second place curse for some of their players. Top is well acquainted with that position. He loves the second place. But it's unfortunate for me, when you look at Smash Roll, it forces team in a situation they're just not comfortable with. And here, I think Alpha Gaming are just completely crumbling under that pressure. Not really sure how to make that ascent at the top.
Weird, because especially considering what we were talking about in the pre-show, right? Technically, this team should be able to handle the pressure. Again, if you have a backup drop, Yangon Galacticos has gone for backup drops on Erangel, well, technically, right? Because obviously they had a lot of Novo drops throughout the tournament so far, but they've gone to those Georgia Paul crates, Neptura, they've been able to capitalize on that. The wide wraps have looked fantastic for them, and they get beyond the smash zone.
Yes, they do. It's really, really nice to see them be able to do that. They seem to just have this knack for knowing what is the best entry point in a zone, right? They have really, really good map knowledge, really good team knowledge as well. We were talking about it where the zones were popping back and forth, so they knew which side of the zone was most likely to be open. Just taking full advantage of that, not overextending, not being too reckless, just very careful, but aggressive. And I think that's something that in the last 2 days, we've not seen the aggressive side of Yangon too much, because they've been able to have a compound in the zone, kind of just take on the last couple of 2 stragglers that are there at the end of the game. But for this game, they were able to just take team after team after team and take advantage of them.
You said they're very good at understanding the circle and everything. For me, the mark of a champion team is how they understand a lobby reacts to a circle. And I think Yangon Galacticos have that nailed down to the absolute limits of how you could be on that kind of macro approach to the game. They see the circle going west, they're going back northeast, meaning all of the teams are focused on the western and southern side. Entry point northwest, northeast is going to be completely open for them. They know how the lobby reacts to that kind of situation. Free entry point, they get into the circle, they play off the back of that. They are so smart on that aspect of the game that for me, that is the main reason why they made it so far in PMWC.
At this level, there's a very hive mind mentality of okay, we're all going to be in this certain area, we're going to be moved. A lot of these best teams that you see come along Neptura are teams that are already in their vehicles as the circle's popping. Okay, we need to be moving right now in order to be able to, because if you are going for wide rotates, you need to be the one moving first. Otherwise, other teams could leapfrog you. As we take a look now at the overall leaderboards, 137 points, but that point number won't matter for the moment. All Yangon Galacticos has to do is win a game. If they do, they become our PMWC champions.
Please be in the next game.
You're excited?
That would be so cool.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be so cool. They've ended on a second place. They've got that smash point threshold done, dusted, out of the way, surpassed by almost 10 points there. If they could come in with that momentum going, heck yeah, we've got it under the belt. We're good to go. Let's go for it. Game number 3 could be our final game here.
So, okay, we know where Yangon Galacticos drop, right? They go crates George Ball.
Yes.
Question for you, Niptura.
Oh, no.
Are they going to be in danger? Is anyone coming for the Yangon Galacticos?
Or do they go elsewhere?
Oh.
They could do that too, actually.
Yeah.
We have seen that before. I think it was,
Hora.
was it CSA?
Where,
They were like, nah, we're not going to get hot dropped in the final game. No chance. And they actually changed their drop spot without telling anybody. And they did end up almost getting hot dropped there, so they avoided that. So could we see something similar from Yangon? I'm wondering. It's not going to be anybody in the top 5, though. 100% not going to be.
I mean, the thing is, you have Zaki available. GMX is not here anymore. If you want to play it ultra safe, just avoid an early fight skirmish, Zaki could be an option, which is, I didn't think I would ever say that.
Yeah, I'd hate that. That's not what I want to hear, Max.
Yeah, but same rotation path, right? It's nearby
Exactly.
crates. It would make sense.
So.
Drop on Everest. No, maybe not. That's even worse. But actually,
pull an RPG where there's no weapons when you drop. Yeah, great. Yeah.
actually, we were looking at the second page of the leaderboards. You were talking about Falcons that, again, increasing your rankings, you could get an extra bit of money.
Yeah.
Of course, here now it's match point. We are in Smash Zone. Yangon Galacticos is the one team to currently breach across that. The question on my mind is, how will they play it out? It is very, very high likely that they have never been in this position before. Will they keep their cool? It's time to go to the commentators here for our next Erangel of the day.
A position they've never been in before is a sentence that can describe so much about this team. But all they have been doing is playing to their strengths, pushing further for placements, for eliminations, for the pride of their own home nation. This team has shown that age and experience does not matter. All that counts is what you bring to the grand stage here live at the PMWC. And blank, Yangon Galacticos have been delivering in droves. With the smash rule now in effect, they have the opportunity to walk away as not only the victor of this game, but the victor and new champion of this entire tournament.
So let's shatter, let's smash here on Sunday over towards Erangel match 3 of the day, 137. We're above the marker now from Severny down towards Primos. We're getting into it. We're getting loud in the arena. Alpha Gaming watching as Yangon Galacticos gets further and further ahead towards the horizon. This is their chance. This is their moment on a map that they are known for.
It was great heads-up decision-making in the prior game with how they split off into 2 duos, maximized eliminations to get themselves over that threshold. But now we'll see how they play when that smash rule's in effect. If things start to change, if other teams target them, or if they're able to play their own game. And of course, if some of our other squads can take them down early, build for themselves, as there is a few challengers nipping at their heels.
This is where you got to solidify the knees, no weakness allowed. The nerves need to be cut short. And you need to be solid on this battleground. The adrenaline must be pumping. They have to keep it quiet, keep it calm. Like you say, play their game, play their style. Out on the edge, and certainly will be living on